Hey folks, Phil Gallagher back with round 3 of Lurrus Taxes. Check out the deck tech from Monday if you need to learn more about the deck. We're currently 2-0 somehow, which I was not expecting. We will reveal a Lurrus. Opponent has no companion. Opponent looks to be a red prison player. How is this hand versus red prison? We play a bunch of birds, and we have an answer to a Rabble Master. Is that enough? I'm resilient to Blood Moon. I'm fine against Chalice. These Draneth Magistrates are dead cards. No, I guess that's not technically true. I guess they technically do something against Chandra. So I probably eat it to an early Karn with this hand. So I'm good against everything except Karn and to a lesser extent Chandra. I guess I keep this. It's like not super exciting. Like, I don't truly have disruptive elements. I don't present a lot of pressure. But I could get a freebie just off this Swords to Plowshares, essentially. Trinisphere into Walker on their side would be devastating for me. Trinisphere into Goblin is fine. Like, I take a good chunk of damage, but then I have, like, Lurrus and Swords to Plowshares, and it's okay. Deal. That's good in that it preserves my opponent's mana for them. I can just revoke a Chrome Mox here, which is pretty strong. And maybe I should do so. Like, in the long game, revoking an actual mana source is better. Or sorry, an actual win condition is better. That's interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and revoke the Mox in the short term. I can reset it with Charming Prince. Absolutely not taking that Magus off the battlefield. It turns their City of Traders back into a viable land. The Trinisphere are secretly doing work against my Squadron Hawks. So I basically have 4 dead cards in hand, which kind of sucks. I can play the Dranith Magistrate to wall 2/2s. Which I guess is what I'm doing. Alright, 1 more land and I can start playing multiple creatures a turn. I can play another Dranith Magistrate to just completely wall their board. So the downside of doing this is that if I draw a Squadron Hawk rather than like filtering them out of my deck this turn, I kind of lose a card. Oh great, so no Chandra, no Karn yet. Alright, yep, there. Exact situation that I was talking about. It's unfortunate. That probably gets Ensnaring Bridge. And then this game is going to be awful. Yep. I probably just lose the game to that Ensnaring Bridge, but it's going to take forever to lose the game. I don't have Flicker Wisp. We're shutting off this Karn, and I have to hope that it stays shut off, I think. Rather than try to kill it. I don't know how we're going to do 18 points of damage. We have to hope that, like, my opponent gets cards stuck in their hands somehow, which is very unlikely. I can't get rid of this Chalice either. Yeah, we've lost to that, but I don't think I can concede here. Otherwise, my opponent knows that I have no outs to that. I don't think my opponent is going to have any, like, 6-drop in their main deck. Well, they can even cast a 6-drop. Okay, I can Lurrus and get that back. Please minus your card and put a card in hand, or any card in hand that you can't cast. That would be so good for me. Thank you. Holy crap. Holy crap. Do I get to kill both of those planeswalkers? Because it sure looks like that's what's happening, unless they have Lion's Eye Diamond. Oh, the good old minus my Karn, get nothing. Cool. So which one of these am I more scared of? Chandra removes my Revoker. Karn threatens Mycosynth Lattice kill in 1, 2, 3 turns. So I guess I'm more scared of Karn. So we need another Revoker for Chandra. Then we need our opponent to never, ever, ever, ever have Fiery Confluence. We are going to deck before our opponent as of right now. Does this just hang out on my screen forever now? This just hangs out on my screen forever now because I can't even, like, get it out of the way. Great. I guess on the off chance that my opponent somehow strands a card in hand, I'm supposed to play this. Like, the 1/1 doesn't make a lot of difference. If they wipe the board, they wipe the board and it's all over for me. Like, I don't come back from that. Because, like, Lurrus will be gone. I have 4 dead cards in hand. This is an annoying bug. So I think my opponent has to uptick Chandra again, then kill Lurrus, then uptick Chandra multiple times, then kill Revoker. I don't really understand what their problem is. Like, they need to cast whatever card is in their hand. Like, literally whatever it is, they have to cast it. Otherwise, they lose both Planeswalkers. If it's a Chalice, I think you snap slam it on 2, given everything that you've seen. That seems easy to me. If it's a Fiery Confluence, you just, like, snap to it for 3 as well. Like, it exposes some of your lands to Wasteland and Port, but you have so much mana already. Yeah, what was difficult about that? No offense, but... I think this is going to be the point where I'm comfortable conceding. Like, it's just Karn plus, Karn minus, and I'm dead. It's that easy. Alright, so for post-sideboard games, we do have an actual output to that in Seal of Cleansing. I don't really have good cards for this matchup. Like, there's things that, like, technically do stuff that are all kind of bad. So, like, Drannith Magistrate stopping Chandra is, like, technically a thing, and I guess technically it walls 2/2s, but, like, that doesn't feel particularly good. Hope of Gira per lock is interesting, but plays into Chalice on 1. I don't know how many Goblin producers my opponent is playing. In their last deck list, which was from March 1st, they were playing 8, but, like, that's eons ago. So it's possible I trim on 1-drops for Chalice. It's possible I just trim some generic creatures. If my opponent doesn't have Chalice, then the Hope of Gira per lock is actually pretty good. It stops them from casting Planeswalkers, Fiery Confluences, most of the cards that I'm going to care about the most. So I think I'm going to keep all of those in. I can see myself trimming some other runes. They're going to sound bad to say, but I don't really have good cards to protect. Like, the best creature I have that I would want to protect is Lurrus, and the second best is Revoker. I don't care about, like, the Revokers or, like, Hope's Dying or anything like that, because I can get them back with Lurrus. So I really just want to protect Lurrus. Yeah, so let's maybe trim that. Maybe trim a Charming Print. Charming Print scrying towards Seal of Cleansing is important if I start to get locked out. Yeah, maybe let's trim 2 Moms and a Remorseful Cleric and call that good. I guess this is what hands with this deck look like. Thought is really good to start off with. I have 1 basic for a Moon effect. Thalia plus Port is okay. Revoker for a Planeswalker is fine. Mom is going to be a turn 3 play. Along with probably Revoker, but we'll see. Really depends on what my opponent does. So the Thalia makes a lot of their starts bad. In that if they just like play out a Goblin Rabblemaster or something like that, the Thalia first strike eats the token, so they can't accumulate tokens. And they also can't like Blood Moon off the Soul Lands here. Oh, just multiple Spirit Guides. Cool. Too many Chandras. Fiery Confluence for 1 here is pretty devastating. I'd lose 2 creatures, take 4 damage to the face, probably 6 damage after Chandra pluses. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Opponent has Sulfur Elementals. Oh, okay. So this card is just bugged forever. That's cool. I think I need to play to the board rather than try to port my opponent. I need to be pressuring this Planeswalker, or I probably lose the game. The Serra Vendor can technically kill it on its own. But I'm not expecting to need to play around another Fiery Confluence. Fiery Confluence isn't usually a 3 or a 4 of anymore, it's usually about a 1 of now. So playing out the Remorseful Cleric. No, I guess I can't play around Fiery Confluence regardless, because my opponent, like if I tap down Port, my opponent just pluses Chandra for mana, and then Fiery Confluences and kills the Avenger anyway. Yeah. So what am I scared of here? Snaring Bridge is bad. Not devastating. I'll get to kill the Planeswalker. But it's going to make my life problematic in the future. Alright. Exiling my opponent's graveyard isn't relevant, but I need to not have 6 in case I do need to sacrifice this Remorseful Cleric for some reason. There are worlds where my opponent plays some weird red removal spell that would exile my creature, and I want to make sure all my creatures that can end up in the graveyard for Lurrus reasons. If I spike a land, I can play Lurrus into Phyrexian Revoker and shut off a Planeswalker if for some reason I can't kill it. Sure. So that makes my Saravenger more powerful. Hopefully they don't have Stomp. That would be pretty devastating. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so let's start with the easy part of the turn. This Planeswalker dies. So I think I'm going to want to remove this Sulfur Elemental after my opponent attacks with their Magus of the Moon. So let's just scry. I think I'm just going to junk both of those. There's a temptation to keep the land, because with the land, I can go Lurrus plus creature from the graveyard next turn. And maybe I should just accept that that's fine, and just shutting off a Planeswalker out is good. Alright. See if I get punished for my greed by my opponent playing second Sulfur Elemental and killing my Charming Prince. A Goblin Rabblemaster, you say? I don't think I care about that. I think I care about the Sulfur Elemental more. Oh, nice. Oh, wow. That's very brave to offer up the Sulfur Elemental there to the Avenger. I get it. I don't think I would have done that myself. We got an absurd degree of value this turn. I think we're going aggro with this Charming Prince. I'm still going to have 2 bodies back to block afterwards. I also can just play Lurrus and Rishadenport. So to punish this line, my opponent needs to have land and Fiery Confluence, I believe. Otherwise, this spirals out of control very quickly, and I get Karakas untapped to get the Lurrus back, and then get back all of my following permanents. I don't care if my opponent stomps Lurrus here. guess I would care about Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah, it has to attack into my lifelinker. It sure does. Oh, I guess Sulfur Elemental is a concern. I'm gonna take the life. I don't think they have the Sulfur Elemental. So what am I doing with my mana in the next turn cycle? I'm porting this and holding Caracas up, so I'm not actually going to cast a card from Graveyard? Or am I? So opponent is at 4. I can cast Revoker and put it on Chrome Mox, and that's worse than porting. Yeah. We basically just need to dodge Ensnaring Bridge from hand. Alright, so we know about these Sulfur Elementals now. Does that change my boarding at all? It definitely makes the Mother of Runes worse. So I think we'll go with all of those out. It also makes the Remorseful Clerics worse. Makes the Serra Ventress better in some ways. We can just bring in Path to Exiles to have more answers to them. Ugh, it also makes my Squadron Hawks... I could also bring in Walking Ballista to just have something that can ping down the Planeswalkers for when I get them close. I could see that stealing a game. So still 26 creatures, which is a lot. I'm good with it. This is going to be a mulligan. This hand can remove a Rabblemaster, but otherwise does nothing. This hand is fine. Either Hope or Avenger is going back. I think I'm getting rid of Avenger. Lurrus operates as like a beater if I need it to be with this hand. And I see myself playing Hope into Thalia into Lurrus and then hoping to get the Hope lock off on my opponent. And Serra Avenger does not contribute actively to that plan. Ooh, that is much better than just playing out the Hope. That represents a good amount of free mana over the course of this game. We're just hoping to dodge like a Karn or Chandra this turn or next turn. Mostly this turn. Like Soul Land, Spirit Guide, 4-drop Planeswalkers, very bad. I essentially have no game against that. Trinisphere is very good for me. This is slightly awkward if they end up having another Soul Land. But if they don't have another Soul Land, I'm so incredibly far ahead. I've felt this pause many times. This is the I just lost the game to my own Trinisphere, didn't I? Pause. I could be wrong, but it's kind of what it feels like. Oh, they do have a soul land, okay. But that's fine. That's not particularly good given circumstances. We're going to get a Thalia to ambush it. And since my opponent can't make another play, I'm just going to put this in here. So the next question is, do I just play out the Thalia now? Or do I try to ambush the Rabblemaster mid-combat? If I don't play out the Thalia now, I can potentially get Planeswalkered, which is super bad. Yeah, let's just play that out now. I'm not going to sacrifice the hope yet. We don't have, like, a guaranteed lock until we can get Lurrus into play. So I definitely want to remove this Goblin Rabblemaster at some point in the not too distant future, because I'm very afraid of Sulfur Elemental coming down and, like, ruining my deck, like we see here. Things are fine as long as I draw a land. That, I guess, is technically like a land. Do I need to chump block with the Hope? So Charm Prince goes in front of Goblin Rabblemaster, trading with it. I'm going to take 3 6 damage. No, I don't think I need to chump block. In which case, I should go ahead and attack with this and take my 1 point of damage. That could be very relevant as this game goes on with Ancient Tomb. Second Sulfur Elemental or Stomp is super bad for me. I think we top those. so we're gonna lose to kind of the nuts there. And so like I get to play Lurrus. Lurrus can jump into the graveyard because of these. Otherwise I Swords to Plowshares one of these, block one of these, die to this damage. Alright, that sucks. GG's. We'll be back tomorrow.